This little clown set her sugar daddy up to be robbed, and he ended up being killed in a honey trap murder. 44-year-old Vishal Gohel was killed by a gang that tried to rob him after his sugar baby set him up. Vishal Gohel met 22-year-old Georgia Bruce Annan on Craigslist, which is an online market where goods and services are offered. Georgia worked as an apprentice at Coutts Bank. This is a prestigious and historic British private bank used by rich people and companies. The day before the murder, Vishal spoke to Georgia, and he was expecting to have sex with 3 women. On the evening of the 22nd of January 2022, Vishal Gohel was seen on CCTV at a nearby convenience store, where he bought alcohol, soft drinks, cigarettes, and condoms. He was also wearing a smart watch. He borrowed £100 in cash from his mum who lived nearby, and he withdrew another £100 from a cash machine. In the early hours of the morning at around 1 a.m. on the 23rd of January, Georgia Bruce Annan arrived at Vishal's flat in the Bushy area of Hertfordshire. She came in a taxi with 2 other women, Faith Hoppe and Tiana Hancock. Once inside the flat, the sexual encounter that Vishal was expecting didn't happen. Instead, the women used the 90-minute window before the men arrived to facilitate the ambush. They were in communication with Tevin Leslie, Sakine Gordon, and Brandon Brown, who arrived at the flat at around 2:25 a.m. They burst into the property and tied Vishal Gohel up and interrogated him. Whether Vishal could not or would not transfer over the money to them, the gang decided to attack him and ultimately beat him to death. After leaving Vishal unconscious on the floor, the little tramps then stole Vishal's iPhone, iWatch, and approximately £200 in cash. They attempted to clean the flat, but no attempts were made to contact emergency services. The following morning, a neighbor first noticed Vishal Gohel's front door was slightly open. When the door remained open later that evening, the neighbor entered the flat and found Vishal unresponsive at around 10:45 p.m. Emergency services were called, and Vishal Gohel was pronounced dead at the scene. A post-mortem examination revealed the shocking extent of his injuries. He had been beaten, resulting in brain damage, and his voice box had been fractured. The killers were caught through a combination of digital forensics, CCTV analysis, and incriminating voice notes. Investigators traced the initial honey trap setup back to Craigslist, where Georgia Bruce Annan had been in contact with Vishal Gohel. Police also recovered chilling voice notes in which Georgia was encouraging Faith Hoppe to wipe her phone and stick to a fabricated story about not knowing that Vishal Gohel was dead. In court in December 2023, Georgia Bruce Annan was found guilty of murder and jailed for life with a minimum term of 26 years. Tevin Leslie was jailed for life with a minimum term of 26 years for murder. Faith Hoppe and Brandon Brown were both found not guilty of murder but convicted of manslaughter and conspiracy to rob. Faith was jailed for 8 years, and Brandon Brown was sentenced to 15 years. Sakine Gordon was originally convicted of murder and conspiracy to rob and jailed for 25 years, but this was later changed after an appeal to manslaughter rather than murder, and he was given a 16-year jail term. Follow the page and leave a comment on any other criminal cases you'd like to see on the channel.